Under the infrastructure security domain, the first section focuses on design edge security on AWS. When it says edge, it doesn't mean edge location. It's more about infrastructure perimeter security involving different AWS services. Let's start with CloudFront. Focus on the web distribution mainly and see how you can manage HTTPS and SSL connections. Also, you should know how to filter HTTP requests on the edge location when needed. Focus on features including WAF integration, signed URL, geo-restriction, field-level encryption, and Lambda@Edge. Also, you should know the secure integration between S3 and CloudFront, including origin access identity. Next service is S3. Try to get deeper understanding on user and resource-based policies and when to use them. S3 encryption and security of cross-region replication are key exam topics. Also, you should know how to secure your web application from various attacks including DDoS, cross-site scripting, and SQL injection or SQL injection. WAF or Web Application Firewall is heavily used to prevent most of these attacks. You should have a deep understanding of WAF, how to configure rules in WAF, and how it integrates with other AWS services. In addition, you can use AWS Shield to mitigate DDoS attacks. There is a standard and advanced version of Shield. You should know the difference between them. The second section is design and implement a secure network infrastructure. This is one of the largest sections since it involves various networking components including VPCs, subnets, and VPN. You should have strong understanding of security groups, NACLs, VPC peering, and VPC endpoints. In addition, you should know NAT gateways, routing tables, bastion host, and virtual private gateways, and relevant use cases and how they can help to improve your security of your VPC. In addition, please review security of serverless architecture, especially Lambda's functional policy and execution role. The third section focuses on troubleshoot a secure network infrastructure. Again, this is the extension of the previous section. There are endless possibilities in security of a network infrastructure troubleshooting area. Mainly focus on routing tables, security groups and NACLs, and how they can create a conflict and if you configure them in a wrong way. Also, try to focus on VPN connectivity and components involved, VPC peering limitations, network sockets, and the function of secondary network interface. Remember, VPC flow logs and instant metadata can play a major role in troubleshooting scenarios. The fourth section focuses on design and implement host-based security. This is an interesting section which covers security details on AWS host and hypervisor level. You should know how the instances, memory, and disks are isolated in AWS host. Also try to understand the status of your data when you terminate the instance. Let's say if you terminate your instance, what will happen to your data that is stored in memory or disk? Another important topic under this section is IDS and IPS, intrusion detection and prevention systems. Since packet sniffing is not allowed in AWS, you have to use marketplace applications to perform intrusion detection functions. You should get familiar with VPC level traffic filtering and monitoring. Also having agents in EC2 instances. You can use third-party appliances with AWS services like WAF, AWS Config, System Manager, Inspector to build comprehensive IDS and IPS solutions. So make sure to review AWS Config, System Manager, Inspector, and AWS Artifact services. Now let's move on to Domain 4, Identity and Access Management. If you are done with Associate Solution Architect exam, this topic gives you some relief. You might have covered 50% of content during your associate certification under Identity and Access Management domain. The first section focuses on designing and implementing scalable authorization authentication system to access AWS resources. You should have strong knowledge in AWS concepts including IAM policies, users, groups and roles. Gain in-depth knowledge in policy evaluation, organizations and service control policies. AWS STS plays an important role in security area, so get a good grip on IAM cross-account access, identity federation and directory services. There are few questions on directory services including Microsoft Active Directory, Simple AD and AD Connect. As I mentioned before, IAM and S3 relationship is the key area. You can manage S3 permissions using bucket policies and ACLs in addition to IAM-based access policies. Try to understand the difference between them and specific use case where we can use one versus other. The second section focuses on troubleshoot an authorization and authentication system to access AWS resources. Again, this is the extension of the previous section which emphasizes more on troubleshooting. Mainly focus on policy conflicts. Same object or service having multiple policies attached. Also expect cross-account role and identity federation related questions asking you to check why things are not working as expected. For some reason, this domain also includes KMS key policies. So get familiar with KMS permissions and troubleshooting the key policies. Now let's move on to domain 5, data protection.